Hello friends, in the past videos, we have seen how to find the bearing capacity by using analytical methods. Now, we will see how to find the bearing capacity from the field test. So here we'll see bearing capacity, bearing, I think I'll increase the size of the wording now, bearing capacity from field test. So normally we will have three different types of field test. One is plate load test, and another one is standard penetration test, standard penetration test, and third one is static cone penetration test, static cone penetration test. So in our syllabus, we are having plate load test and also we are having the standard penetration test. So in this video, first we will see about the plate load test. Very, very important. We make it 2 marks or 1 mark question from this topic. Plate load test. I think from the name itself, you might have observed. What is it? We will apply the load on the plate and then somehow we will find the bearing capacity of the soil. If we have seen in transportation engineering or in highway engineering, there also we have used the plate load test. If you do remember, if you recall it, can you tell me why we have used the plate load test in the highway engineering? To find the modulus of subgrade reaction. To find the modulus of subgrade reaction. So this will come in highway engineering. Right? Now, what is our main aim? By using this plate load, we have to find out the bearing capacity of the soil. So, by using this method, we can find bearing capacity by using three different criteria. First one is, we can find ultimate bearing capacity based on shear criteria. That means, wherever the soil is failed, so that we can consider it as a ultimate bearing capacity. Similarly, we can find the allowable bearing pressure, allowable bearing pressure based on settlement criteria, based on settlement criteria. We will see how we'll find out that and all in the coming we will see. And also, we can also find out the settlement of foundation, settlement of foundation. So, wherever the soil is failed, that we can consider it as the ultimate bearing capacity, and depending upon the importance of the structure, we have to keep some limit of the settlement. So depending on that, we can also find out how much loading pressure or how much bearing pressure we can apply on that. And also, if you apply specific loading on the foundation, we can also find out how much settlement can happen. First, let us see what we'll do and what is the procedure to conduct the plate load test. That means, suppose if this is your ground level. So from the preliminary investigations, we will find out at how much depth we have to find out the, or up to how much depth we have to keep our footing. That means the depth of the foundation we can evaluate it. So for conducting plate load test, you have to dig out the soil up to the depth of the foundation or up to the level of the footing. After that, similarly, let us excavate up to some width. Let us say this magnitude is B. There are also some limits of the width also that we'll see in the next in few seconds. Okay. Let us imagine I have removed this soil pit. So in that what I'll do, I will keep one plate This plate is having some width BP, that means plate width, and I will apply external load on that plate. So as I'm applying load on this plate, this soil is going to restrict it. So what I'll do, I will draw a curve, load versus settlement. So from this curve, we can find out where the soil is gonna fail, and also we can find out, depending upon the settlement limit, how much load we can apply on it. Similarly, depending upon the applied load, we can find out how much settlement is happening here. Okay. Suppose if there is a water table in between ground surface to the level of the foundation, first we have to pump out of that water. After that only you have to conduct the plate load test. These are the some standard recommendations followed by the IS code. Okay. Now let us see some of the codal provisions. Okay. This they may ask for the 1 mark questions. Minimum thickness of the plate you have to consider it as a thickness of the minimum thickness that I am representing T minimum. Minimum thickness of the plate you have to consider it as a 25 mm. So the plate you are going to conduct the plate load test, it should not have thickness less than 25 mm. And the size of the plate, what you're gonna use for testing, that should be normally 30 centimeter by 30 centimeter. So normally this is used for the dense sand. So this is what the minimum size. Similarly, the maximum size of the plate that can be used will be 75 centimeter by 75 centimeter. So minimum is 30 centimeter, maximum is 75 centimeter. Okay. Next. So in general, that means normally the standard value, that means 60 centimeter by 60 centimeter used for testing. Okay, whatever with the soil, in general, we will consider it as the size of the plate is 60 centimeter by 60 centimeter. And there is also one more criteria. Depending upon the width of the footing, let us say if B is the width of the footing and BP is the width of the plate, normally we will keep this range as equal to 5. Similarly, the depth of the footing divided by the depth of the plate, that we will keep it as again 5. So these two ranges also you have to remember. Why? Because if they given you the width of the footing, by that you can able to find out how much width of the plate is required. Okay. Now, suppose if I draw the load versus settlement curve, if I draw this is my load and if this is my settlement curve, then if I keep on increasing the load, my settlement will increase and increase. At some point of time, the settlement will keep on increasing. So wherever the slope of the curve changes here, this is called the failure point. So from this curve, we can obtain the ultimate bearing capacity based on which criteria? As the soil is failed, shear criteria. Similarly, what we'll do is that, let me draw one more time the load versus settlement curve. Okay. Now, suppose if you draw the log curve for this, let us say this is the, suppose if I consider the log of load if I consider, and also if I consider the logarithm of the settlement, then what I'll do is that I will get some inclined lines like this. So from this, I can able to find out at which point my soil is going to be failed. Okay. Now, in the next point, we have to remember some important points like up to how much point we have to increase the load. That means you should not keep on increasing the load, right? At some point of time, you have to stop it. So at which point, at what time you have to stop the increasing the loading? That is, the first point is wherever the settlement becomes progressive. progressive. So suppose if you see in this curve, the settlement, okay, it is keep on increasing, but after this point it is drastically increases. That means this is what called the progressive. So this implicates that your soil is failed. That means this is based on the shear criteria. And next point is that loading pressure loading pressure exceeds 3 times the allowable pressure. 3 times the allowable pressure. That means before construction of the footing, we know how much pressure we are going to apply on the soil. Let us say if that is a allowable pressure. If your whatever the load, if it crosses the 3 times of the load, that means if you want to design for 10 Newton per meter square, if you are applying the test and the applied loading on the test, if it is 3 times of that magnitude, you can stop the experiment now. They can say your soil is stable enough. And the next point is if total settlement of plate, total settlement of plate becomes more than becomes more than 10% of size of the plate. 10% of size of the plate. So these three are the very, very important points. They will give you in the match the following options. Okay. So whether we have to stop the increasing in loading when your settlement is become progressive, or the loading pressure exceeds the 3 times the allowable pressure, or the settlement becomes the more than 10% of the size of the plate. If any one of these three conditions is satisfied, then you have to stop increasing the loading. Okay. Hope you understand. So this is what about the plate load test. In the next video, we'll solve a problem sum based on this load, plate load test. Thank you.